Welcome to Prog Will Find a Way, our podcast all about progressive rock. Today we have a guest.
Do you have guests a lot?
We have a couple.
I think you're the third guest.
Third guest.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
Jay Valade.
I'm Jonathan Block.
And this is Dave Schneider.
It's amazing that you guys, I asked about your numbers. You said 13 to 870, and I'm still the third guest.
Yeah. Four. I forgot about John Davis from Yes. We did interview
him.
So,
yeah.
okay, so four guests we've had.
All right. Well, maybe on the next podcast, you guys will call me
We're
earlier.
I mean,
Well, this is going to shoot the numbers through the roof.
Well, I was going to say no offense to our previous guest, but, you know, every guest we're going one rung up the ladder.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Me and the singer of Yes. So
Yeah.
You're going up.
That's not John Anderson.
Let's talk about Yes.
You want to talk about Yes?
I'd like to start there.
Okay.
So we got to give who
ahead.
you are first.
Oh, sure.
So Dave is one of the founders of the original and only, as far as I know, hockey band and greatest.
All
hockey band.
hockey band.
All they do is music about hockey. What that has to do with Prague, we'll find out.
Well, we'll get
We
there.
will find out. But Dave also has another side band called The LeeVees, which we have talked about when we were doing our Christmas episode.
The greatest
The greatest
and
only
all
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah-ish band.
So,
Yes.
you want to talk about Yes?
Yes, I would like to talk about. I'd like to. Well, one, because I've known you for a long time. I've known John. I think longer than you.
Yeah, we grew up
Really?
together.
Yeah.
Trumbull.
Trumbull,
Connecticut.
Yes.
Born and raised.
Land of Rush and Led Zeppelin.
Subdivisions.
Led Zeppelin. Yes. There you go.
Yeah, not trees, but later.
Yeah.
Nothing cool. It was Signals.
Yeah, it wasn't Xanadu.
Let's be honest. Oh, I like this podcast. And I'm sure whoever's watching that little conversation, if that appeals to you, there's nothing better than this.
Right, exactly.
But my brother got me into new wave at a very early age, so they thought I was gay in Trumbull because no one was listening to the Second Men Without Hats record. But I was really upset when one of my favorite bands, all of a sudden, this other band was doing a version of I Am a Camera. I'm like, who is Yes, and why are they covering the Buggles? So slowly I realized that the Buggles, who I really did love, the first record and the second record, I was into the Kevin, whatever that Woolley guy was.
Bruce Woolley.
And
the Camera Club.
Kevin Woolley. Welcome to the podcast of 58-year-olds and older.
Yeah.
Kevin Woolley was great.
It's Bruce Woolley.
I know.
And the Camera Club.
Wooly Bully.
Yeah, he wrote Wooly Bully, and he was in Sam Sham. And no, but I went to see Yes because I was like, what the heck? I'm going to see half the Buggles.
Yeah.
I was at that show. I'm sure
Really?
we were at the same in 1980 New Haven Coliseum in the round.
Yeah, absolutely.
Drama tour.
And I was like,
You didn't fall in love.
I did fall in love. I loved Drama. I thought that record was still one of their best records.
It's a great album.
It's bizarre that it's. I don't know.
It's your intro.
I don't know what
It's funny that's your intro.
I think it's well regarded now.
Oh, it is.
Way more than it was when we were when it came out. But it's.
Yeah, people love that album.
And that was the beginning of all of those offshoots of those bands in Asia and all that.
And then Trevor Horn just went crazy
and crazy
became,
successful.
And became like culturally significant.
Yeah, so much. Art of Noise was like completely different, and Herbie Hancock stole from that. And so he a true innovator in every sense of the word. But that's how I got into Yes.
Okay.
They stole the Buggles.
Wow. They stole the Buggles. There you go. Yeah. And they truly did. It worked for a while.
It worked for 6 months.
No, it was longer than that. I mean, they had to make the album. They wrote the album, made them, they toured. It was a full world
it was
tour.
over by December, though.
So, maybe? It was in the...
But the next record was that the biggest...
9125 was the biggest record they ever did.
Yeah.
Produced by...
Trevor Horn.
Trevor Horn.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting because, that dynamic had to be an interesting moment in the studio where Trevor Horn is producing the band that he took over the lead singer spot for the lead singer who came back, who's probably sitting there just daggers the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you took my spot, dude.
And a lot of those, I mean, on the biggest hit, a lot of those noises and are from Art of Noise sounds.
Yep.
That he sort of honed in.
I think the Yes record came first, and then they.
I knew that would happen.
That was a softball for Jay.
Oh, jeez.
He's like,
Well, Close to the Edit was Trevor Horn's take on Close to the Edge, which is the Yes album.
I feel like walking off.
I find that hard to believe. So, Dave, you said
it wasn't his take musically, but the title.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Is this awkward?
It's like,
Is this awkward?
It's like,
Yeah, you said
no,
new
you
wave.
said you're into new wave and
Totally into new
totally. I mean, I was into it too, and one of the things Jay and I have talked about, like to me, some of the prog kind of melted over there. Not necessarily the Genesis stuff, but the Bowie, the German electronic, the Tangerine Dream, the Kraftwerk, all that stuff, and then kind of got filtered, through disco in a sense. I mean, Donna Summers, I feel. I mean, that's.
Can you connect Joy Division in New Order to
I think
prog?
you can. I think you can. I mean, it's certain.
This guy can't. Look at him.
But I would I can easily connect like prog, like Roxy Music and stuff to like Spandau Ballet.
Oh yeah.
Or the first couple of
Romantics.
Duran albums. Or you think of all that, British Electronic Foundation stuff that begat the Human League and.
They were much hotter and weirder
all that stuff and. Eventually, it became really commercialized, but
well, that's what I loved in the early '80s. Was I loved the OMD stuff where they were kind of out there,
right?
Oh, the early OMD stuff,
the early, and then that mid, the Architecture of Morality,
Ultravox too.
Ultravox,
totally, yeah.
So it was kind of interesting because although it was new wave, it was progressive in its own way until it became the very top 40 kind of sounding.
I mean, you listen back to now to like Vienna, by Ultravox. And first of all, the thing that hits it, I'm like, they're playing like 3 instruments, and back then it sounded like this big, huge thing, but it's like, that is so.
But the whole point, even the Sex Pistols, we're not going to do what Genesis, whatever, he would always make fun of those bands.
Yeah.
But the beauty of Vienna is that it's so simple. But it still as proggy as many things.
It's the atmosphere, they took a lot of that atmosphere.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm driving and that hits, I'm in danger. I don't know what I'm feeling. You know?
That song is
fear.
Yeah.
Sadness.
Yeah. No, it's
You pull over and cry.
I pull over. I'm afraid. I'm crying.
I mean, Midge did play in Thin Lizzy for a while, so it's weird the way all that stuff kind of.
Have you guys gone and seen Midge solo?
I saw him at Toad's Place way back when, but he was just at the Space Ballroom last year. But I couldn't get there.
Cafe 9, and it was great.
Cafe 9, he was at.
Pretty sure, yeah. I called Kevin Woolley. I just did.
Why not Cafe?
I just did an interview with someone.
You visioned it more in a theater kind of thing.
Well, no, he was at the Space Ballroom.
Oh, okay.
And so that's not huge, but it's bigger than Cafe 9.
Oh,
I mean, my son Matt's band plays there.
Axe ebb and flow.
Here's a shout out to Bajel.
Oh yeah, shout out. I did an interview last week, and I started reading the interview, and I'm like, oh no, because our brains stories get wilted, and so the comment was we actually, there was a great interview. You guys should do it for your next guest. But you have 2 packs of rock cards, and you open them up, and you pick 6. And you speak of the 6 that you pick with a story. So one of them was U2. I'm like, I got to tell the story. So I said, I went to U2, and I looked to my left, and there was something that said, U2 sucks, you sold out. And it ended up being my friends Peter and Tarkin, who have become my best friends and bandmates.
Who also co-formed the Zambonis.
That's right.
But
it turns out it was the REM show. I just talked to Tarkin. And he's like, I remember that. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. It was the REM show. It said, you suck, you sold out. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, these guys are ass. Can you swear?
Yeah, of course.
Ass pokes.
Yeah. We check the not for kids, but checkbox.
So I'm just warning you. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
But I mean it. I try to do my best.
So
talk about
Dave is into a ton of music. right? But
Yeah.
prog has never, when we get together, it never really hits the same button. But I was out, I think it was like a year and a half ago, we were out someplace, and you and your buddy were there, and you started talking to me about Gentle Giant, and I'm like,
Well, sometimes you buy a record for its cover.
yeah, which one did you buy?
The one with the giant in it. I think it had like it was a
This
cutaway.
is the first album. That's the first Gentle Giant album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love anything die cut. I'm buying
Okay.
it.
Oh, was it the
ever-
whole giant in the band, or was it a cutout mask?
Of the face.
Cut out mask.
Okay, so that's
Later, 78.
That's a later, yeah. It was
78,
either
77?
not civilian, whatever
Playing
it
the
was.
fool?
This is
No,
where
no,
you
it
lose.
was,
Look, they're all leaving.
Why can't I remember?
Trying to-
I'm gonna look it up.
Anyway.
'Cause I always
So
say,
did you-
I always say
did
we
you-
don't know.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
So did it open the door to new things?
I
or did you
went
just
back
kinda-
because my friend Tim's dad, who I spoke to for a while, he's a big prog guy, and his favorite band was Gentle Giant.
Okay.
Of course,
Tim is who you were talking to when we were having
Oh,
the conversation.
okay, yeah. Yeah, his dad's a musician, and and he makes weed and coffee. Hey, sorry.
Giant for a day. That's what it was called. And there it is.
By the way, in my basement, I still have 11 Straubs records. If you need any.
Wow.
Well, there you
okay,
go.
that's more than
But
either. I
I
think
feel
that's more
that's-
Straub's records than Jay and I have combined.
That's
Yeah.
what you need to do. You need to do some giveaways. And you also have to promote Sheen, which where you got this Prague blanket, right?
It was a
$4
gift.
from China.
It was a gift.
It's interesting how accurate
Fancy.
the Chinese are on these bootleg quilts. Is drama on here?
Yes,
Yes.
but it's
It's off the
where is
side.
it? No, it's right
No,
here.
it should be right. Yeah,
Oh, there
it's,
it
it is in chronological
Cheers,
order, right?
drama.
Trevor.
To drama. Is tomato here? Because I can't
Tomato,
get
that one, yeah.
I got too many. I got a bunch of
Yeah,
tornadoes.
you have a bunch of copies.
If
of
anyone
that?
out there needs a couple tornadoes,
How about Love Beach? You have Love Beach?
I don't have Love
Okay.
Beach.
It's Emerson Lake and Palmer, in case you didn't.
I know.
I bought a collection about 10 years ago, and I don't know what happened with Tormato, but they had a lot of Tormatos.
Yeah, I think what happened was it shipped platinum,
Oh, gotcha.
and so they had way too
a
many.
lot of cutouts.
Way
a lot
too
of
many
cutout-
copies than
a lot of
people were buying.
cutouts. Yeah.
Do you like that record?
Oh, I love it. It's actually we've actually talked about this on the podcast. It's probably my second favorite. So Close to the Edge would be number one, and Tormato.
Now, do you
is
pronounce
number
it
two.
Tormato or
Tormato.
It's a little joke. Sorry.
You say tornado.
Thank you, Jay. That's what I was.
There we go. Hey-o.
Yeah. I love that album.
All right.
I just think it's a great
So
album.
who else? Floyd? Any?
I love Pink Floyd.
All right.
Are they prog?
People say
They're
they
under the
are, some
umbrella.
don't. You know.
Not when they started. That's not prog. That's psych.
Psychedelic, yeah.
Yeah.
Psych.
Well, that's
And
always
then they get
that's always the
spacey.
question.
Yeah, well,
See-
then it's just
see,
space music like them and Hawkwind and that stuff. Is
That
that
line-
what-
Because we are under the broad
Yeah, we're
broad
not- we're not
umbrella.
dogmatic
That Radiohead is
about
prog, and that anybody who kind of takes popular music and kind of twists it and brings it into a different direction is kind of prog.
i.e., whatever we feel like prog.
I'm
is.
telling you-
XTC is definitely prog.
I don't mean to
Yep.
plug my friend's band, but
Go for it.
you guys are missing out on the Mommyheads right now.
The
And
Mommyheads.
they changed from what I knew of the Mommyheads. They still have their great pop songs, but they have made records in the last 7
progressed.
years. They have progressed heavy. They do a couple Crimson covers. They're really big in Sweden, which is just has been building
No, that makes sense.
all these years.
That makes sense.
This band,
A lot of
Eggstone-
prog out of the
Eggstone
Nordic
Eggstone is a big band in Sweden. They love the Mommyheads, and anyway, but boy,
All right.
All right,
The Mommyheads.
take note,
telling you.
everybody.
Hashtag
Mommyheads.
Adam Cohen, that's for you.
Okay. There you go.
Well, I saw the Mommyheads at one of your sponsored shows that you do. Dave does a CTGB's night, which is Connecticut CBGB's, basically reliving all the songs that were the punk songs from those days in New York City.
We stuck with the punk, the traditional songs for the first couple of years. This has been going on for 10 years, but and I have little obsessive rules that the band had to play at CB's, obviously, but XTC they played CB's, and last year we did 3 XTC
Yes.
songs.
Wow.
Do they count in the prog conversation?
Oh yeah,
They absolutely do.
absolutely.
And
We haven't done an XCC episode.
No.
Maybe you can come back
next
for an
year we're
XCC
doing 9
episode.
magazine songs.
All right.
Oh, okay. There
I
you
just
go.
wanted to treat you nice there. But no, but last year was 3. I mean, Roads Girdle the Globe. My wife and a couple other people were like, "You're bringing people down at the CBGB." It's such a great song.
I know, but it's kind of funny because I loved what they played, but they are not your like.
No, and I said to Adam, who's probably
your Blondie songs are like, the songs people know.
Yeah,
but then the
this year we
XTC
did-
songs were like 3 of the most obscure songs I could find. Helicopter.
Well, the thing was, I chose some hits, and then Adam's like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna do it this way." And he's got the Mommyheads, who are unbelievable band, and Ken Mowry, shout out to Ken, who's B-52's keyboardist and one of my favorite artists there is. So I'm not gonna say, can you not do Helicopter? Can you not do Roads Girdle the Globe? So yeah.
So
You think if we
Speaking of
did
which-
an XTC tribute night? Oh, they already have that band, so I guess.
I don't know. Oh, that
Which band?
The Terry Chambers one.
Oh.
Yeah, which is great.
It's great. I
Are
saw
they-
them at
are
the
they-
Space
are
Ballroom.
they
They
still-
were
are they still-
fantastic.
are they still
Are
around?
they coming back again?
Yes, yeah.
I might have to go see them again, but
Yeah,
that
they're-
was a fun show.
Oh my God.
Drummer, right? He was the
Yeah,
drummer.
the drummer of XTC
XTC.
who left after they stopped touring, basically.
I met him afterwards, and at the time my wife was learning drums for
Another side project of Dave's.
no, she's in that band, but this is for School of Rock, and they were doing punk or new wave or whatever, and there were 3 XTC songs.
Okay.
So on video I get Terry Chambers. I go, "Hey, can you give my wife an idea of what you think? These are the songs she's playing." He goes, "Stop playing them. You're gonna lose money." I was like, "Okay." But yeah,
That's hysterical.
it's we could show that if you want.
When did they stop touring?
81? Probably.
Yeah, English Settlement I think came out in '82, and I think they did a couple
had dates.
shows,
Yeah.
and then
And that
he
was it. Yeah, that was it.
put the kibosh.
Okay.
Yep. But
Speaking of Andy Partridge, he writes lyrics on the new Steven Wilson album.
Really?
Yes.
well, speaking of Andy Partridge, at my CTGB show, or our CTGB show,
Oh, right.
whatever, I also, through Adam from the Mommyheads, said, "Hey, my friend Steve Conti wants to do a show." I was like, "Okay, great. I know Steve. I mean, I know his music. Didn't know him. His new album is co-written all with Andy.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Partridge.
Yeah.
So
How is that?
It's great. It's
Yeah.
great. It's really cool. And Steve and Adam both played. We did Making Plans, and they did dueling solos, which is. I don't think there's anything more proggy than 2 guys noodling and improvising
Oh,
on that
yes.
solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was pretty impressive. Yes.
Yeah.
Any other things we'd like to talk about? If you want, I can segue
Oh, yeah.
to this.
So Dave's band, the Zambonis, which plays all hockey songs.
Well-
We brought him in because of the Rick Wakeman on Ice.
What's more prog than hockey?
Well, this is the thing. In the Zambonis, we've been referred to for the last 32 years as a joke band. But for a joke band, we've done a lot of great things. But we do, just like the LeeVees, we take the music more seriously than you can ever imagine. And Peter Cadis, who left the Zambonis in 2001, who helped us record 2 nights ago, he left. He made a lot of the records from Interpol and many the national records and Glenn Hansard and the Swell Season. So we don't F around. But seeing we're a joke band, I then can make any type of music a hockey song because it doesn't matter because no one's going to take us seriously anyway. So we can't lose. So we've done all these genres, and it's, I don't think of them as genres, but if it's an old country song, if it's ska, if it's punk rock or whatever, it's just classic pop. But we've never really we've touched on prog once, and we killed it with a song called "Hockey on the Moon," which is 7.5 minutes, and it's really a tribute to Flock of Seagulls' "Wishing," the 10-minute remix. So, but Thursday night, There's a brand new song called "There Ain't No Ice" about climate change, because a lot of people that play hockey, you can no longer just go out to the pond. You have to keep on traveling, and eventually you're past Boston.
Yeah.
You know. So "There Ain't No Ice." I tried to write a Zeppelin song. It became a Small Faces song, but in the middle, I had this Zeppelinish break. But thankfully, we have Jay in the band now, and
Not me.
not Jay. And we're recording the other night, and you know, in my basement when we're playing this is a long story, but it's worth it. We have a cheesy Yamaha, an acetone organ, and you know, Jay's been playing and working on this part, but it was nothing really. I said, and so it was 2 weeks before we recorded, and I said, hey, since we have all this time, guys, just work out your parts a little bit. And we walk into the studio, and I go, Jay, by the way, there's a Mellotron here, and he puts on the headphones. And I sort of forgot about Jay because we were recording basic tracks. And this is just the basic tracks. There's no mix or anything. But eventually I'm like, Jay, you want to just try a Mellotron part? He's like, yeah, I think I got something pretty cool. And we played it. And this is what Jay did. And it's the Small Faces stuff. Here comes the break. 12 strings too low, but here we go.
Mellotron flutes. You cannot get more prog than that.
Correct. He's like, what do you think for the sound? I said, flute.
Yeah.
Flute. Just hit the flute button, and you'll see. It's all you need.
Wait for John Anderson to start singing the first part.
Oh, that's true.
It sounded like
had
an
a little
outtake
you and
from,
I moment.
Very impressive. Nice. So we scooped. We got a scoop there.
We do.
Brand new
It's not
Zambonis
even
tune.
recorded yet, or recorded,
Well, recorded,
2
not
nights
mixed.
ago.
2 nights
But not
ago.
mixed.
Oh,
Rough
mixed.
mix.
A lot of stuff to add. There's more 12 strings to add to that part, but
Well, you got to build it up. There's got to be some harp and a little incidental percussion.
harp.
He's got the Mellotron. Come
Well,
on.
you're trying to save the world, right? This is an environmental,
Yes, yes, you're right.
uplifting.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Is it uplifting?
We'll see. I don't know.
Musically for a while.
And musically, it sounds uplifting.
Yeah. Definitely.
But that's a good juxtaposition. The world's ending, but
So Zambonis
we're
go
dancing.
prog.
By the way, I
Devo.
wore this shirt.
Is it? It's all for your rock and roll Hall
That
of
is Ted
Fame.
Knight.
It's
It's not
Ted
what I
Knight.
forget who the
Caddyshack.
I forget who the original guy on the Devo record was. This Spanish golfer from back Trevino? No, I forget. But anyway, that's Ted Knight.
That's Ted Knight instead of that person.
Yeah. But is Devo prog?
I think there are prog moments of Devo, but I think that once they hit the zeitgeist of Whip It and all that kind of stuff, that was not really prog.
Was it their first album that was produced by
Eno.
Eno, yeah.
Well,
so
there you go.
There you go. I was going to
They're
say
definitely prog adjacent.
they didn't even have to play.
Eno.
They didn't have to play a note. They didn't
Before
have to play
that,
a note.
they were way out there musically and idea-wise. Musically, ideas. I mean, but there's a lot. He had pedals on his guitar. That's.
Well, and just the I think
lot
there
of-
were
lot of
progressive
sense,
tendencies. Certainly, Mark Mothersbaugh, I
Yeah.
would say, is very progressive.
Yeah. The records after they were big are still really cool too.
Oh yeah.
I loved Peekaboo, the next record, and then the next one, Smooth Noodles, whatever. But I don't know. It's so
You
funny.
love Devo, though.
I love Devo,
Yeah.
sure.
Are they in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No, Dave, every chance he gets is campaigning for
I
them.
mean, they had huge. No, I mean they had huge. They had some huge songs.
I don't consider that thing anything.
Well,
Sorry.
I stopped once. I always complain. I was like, until Todd Rundgren gets in, it's not the rock and roll. And once he got in, I stopped paying attention because. Although Yes is in, right? Yes is in Genesis.
No Crimson.
They're never gonna. I keep telling you, they're never gonna.
That's crazy.
Because he would never.
That's why this is such a dumb conversation because that thing makes no sense.
It's the favorites of the people.
I don't look at politics and I don't look at Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Those are the two.
Okay.
You live a happier life.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you're not involved in
Either
emotionally
one of those
involved.
two.
However, I did go to a couple of the induction ceremonies,
Concerts?
and they were so much fun.
Roxy
Because it's
Music.
everybody from all over the map.
Were you there for
Shows
Roxy
up.
Music?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you on Roxy Music, Dave?
I love Roxy Music. I love Roxy Music. I love Brian Ferry's solo stuff. Yeah, definitely. Love their covers.
Yeah.
All their record covers are great.
Yeah.
Yep. Some early fantasies from those records. Luckily, the Cars stole their heat.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
The Cars.
Just with the pretty girl on the cover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Where are you with the car? Where are you with the Cars, Dave?
Me?
Jay.
I love the Cars.
Yeah.
We saw them get inducted, too.
One of the best bands ever.
Yeah.
I
Love
think
the Cars.
Total. I would call.
Love the Cars.
first
And I
three
mean, come on.
records.
Since you've
They-
gone, that's not prog. I mean,
Oh my
come
God.
on.
Yeah.
It sounds
Moving
like
in stereo. I mean,
Well, the second album.
And then he produced some Suicide stuff.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Rick Ocasek did.
Yeah.
Suicide's another band.
So we saw them get inducted, and that was, I think, his last performance before he passed away.
Oh, jeez. Well, we should end there.
And on that note,
Yeah, I don't want. My mind's going. I didn't pay his ex-wife or anything, but I mean, that's nothing to do with music.
that's true. That's true.
Paulina.
A
Wow.
lot of bands from that Boston area in that time.
Didn't pay their ex-wives?
No, I'm saying that there was a pretty good music scene up there.
Oh, God, yeah. Sure.
Human Sexual Response, you remember them?
I
They're from
love
the
that
Boston
band.
area.
And I think, I just feel weird talking about, is it Prague? So I guess I won't say it, but that band, some of the best songs ever.
Yeah, I was a big fan of that band.
My favorite being Land of the Glass Pine Cones.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I mean,
second-
could you get a more prog title?
we should play that.
Glass Pine Cones? Like, what if...
So where do we start with Mommyheads?
Oh, I mean, I would start with the record that Peter made, but for you guys, no. You
Yeah.
move right up to current. Listen to their latest record.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just like the last record. Watch some videos. They're all over your. They'll tickle your fancies. They're right. They're
Easy
right,
now.
They're right in your zone. Totally.
Cool.
Yeah, and then there's a live King Crimson cover they do over in Sweden, but
Wow.
they're their own thing, and it's really, really good. And they're master musicians. It's crazy. Drummer plays with one hand. It's just very odd. It's very.
I think I'll check out some videos first.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. So when do we get our prog band Zambonis?
Well, I've made a commitment. We've been putting out singles since 2012. It's
Yeah.
all singles.
Yeah.
Let's put out a song. And what happens is you throw a song out there and it just sort of fades out. But there's nothing to hold on to, and I want to hold on to something. So I'm going to put out a record within 9 months.
Okay.
In 2025.
Vinyl and CD.
So all the
Nice.
singles that you've been releasing over the course of time, or at least
No,
some of them?
I'm going to do some of that, but I always hated when bands did that. But I got to put some of those songs on there. But
Come on,
but
Slow
we
Whip
got-
has got to make it onto
Slow
a record.
Whip, yeah, you don't want to. You want it to disappear, So yeah, we've got these two new ones: Hockey Polka,
Nice.
You are all over the map.
absolutely a polka, and There Ain't No Ice, and a bunch of new ones. Hockey Prodigy is a brand new one. Steve wrote that. Steve Tansky, shout out to Steve, and yeah, just a lot of new songs. Cool.
Excellent.
That's
So,
gonna be cool.
new Zambonis record 2025.
Got to do it.
All
Got to
right.
get it out, no matter what.
Nice.
Throwing money to the wind, but it's all about
come on.
it's all about creation and just keep stuff going out there. And the LeeVees will have vinyl with 3 new songs. 2 new songs and one that didn't make the record. 2025 at the end of.
Okay.
Okay.
For the
next
Hanukkah season? This
Plan
year's
on it.
Hanukkah season?
Yeah.
All
next-
right.
Yep. So
Nice.
that's it.
Awesome.
So that's my plugs.
Well,
All right.
This is great. I wish you guys luck. I wish you a
Thank
lot
you.
of success.
Yeah, please like and subscribe.
I'd love to do what you're doing, but it's such a mystery.
It is a mystery.
But it is great. At least you
It's
guys
just
get
fun. We're
together.
just
Fun.
chatting.
Yeah. Drinking beer, talking about music.
What are just curious? Like, what bands have you talked about the most? Do you think?
I would say probably Marillion and King Crimson and Yes.
Yeah.
Those 3, right?
Those would probably
Yeah.
hit the main.
Is Marillion
buttons.
still going?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just
Jay is
They
Jay.
sure are.
Jay will be seeing them in a couple of months.
where?
We got up in Montreal. They do a weekend. They do weekends
Marillion weekends.
all over the
All
the globe.
Marillion, all the time.
And
5 days.
That guy's name was Fish.
Fish was
Yeah,
the
Fish-
original
the
singer,
original
but he
singer.
hasn't been the singer since 1988.
Okay. Because that was confusing for a moment.
Yes.
Yes,
And
but
that
now
little-
He had his own solo career, which he's kind of wound up now, and he is moving into retirement.
yes.
To
So now Steve
Concentrate on
Hogarth
his
is the
other-
singer who I was trying to. There was a connection to somebody that you liked. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. How do I know Steve
what band
Hogarth?
did he come from?
He came from the Europeans.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I know the
Seriously?
Europeans.
Well, they had stuff out.
Yeah, I know Steve
Yeah.
Hogarth. Yeah.
So
the
he's been the
Europeans.
singer of Marillion since 1989.
89. Okay. Oops.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I've been out of the
You
loop.
have been out of the loop.
It's Fish.
But I mean, it's just like goes like that, right? You wake up one minute and you're almost 60.
It's
or
funny.
Oh,
60.
you know what it was? He had a solo tour, and Dave Gregory was playing guitar for him.
Oh
Yeah, so there was
Okay.
this little Marillion XTC moment there.
yeah, Steve Hogarth. Yeah, I know that name, and it's not from Harry. Was he in
It's
Harry
not
and the
from-
Potters?
No, he was
and the
not.
Was he in Harry Potter? Hogarth? No.
No, that's Hogwarts.
Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, that's Hogwarts. Kevin Woolley. We should start a Bruce Woolley cover band called Kevin Woolley. It's a tribute and an insult.
Oh.
But there was one other thing. I was listening to something the other day. I know.
Oh,
we should-
Thomas
we should-
Dolby was a Bruce Woolley guy too.
Yeah, he was on. Did he just
might
play
have
on those
been. I
records,
don't know,
or was he in the
but, you know,
band?
he's like he's into
You recently
everything
saw Thomas Dolby,
Yeah.
right, Jay?
You went down to Bridgeport to see him.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I
you
saw
saw him
him
at the
the-
library,
Yeah,
right?
I bought his book. I love Thomas Dolby.
He's definitely got his prog tendencies for
come on.
sure.
Yeah, the Flat Earth is what a record.
Yeah.
Does anyone
Right?
else?
I
Has
mean-
anyone else referenced Mulu?
No. That's you can check that box.
I'll say that too. There was a band from the '60s I was listening to the other day, and I thought about you. Oh shoot, that sucks that I have to do that. Yeah, I won't remember. They total Who band. Oh my gosh, all those guys, Stones. Everybody look. Darn. That's the worst part.
Do you know
of a podcast.
any songs out?
Yeah,
anything?
I'm thinking right now. But
Okay.
Why did you think of us?
the pretty things.
Oh, yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
things, yes.
Yeah. So I love the pretty things.
Yes.
And I was at a tag sale about 2 years ago, and I bought a record that was. I'm like, what is this? And it was 1979.
Okay. Huh.
Total killer record, and it's got a song called "I'm Calling" or "The Calling." Have you ever heard this song?
No.
It's totally new wavy, and
Huh.
it's like they I don't know what they did or where they came from 1975.
Yeah, right. SF Sorrow.
I have that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then even after that, they were like,
Parachute. I love
yeah,
that
there was some
album.
weird stuff, but
Yeah.
this record is complete new wave with some synths. yes, I'm calling. And it was
They
total,
tried it.
They listened to Vapors too much.
Yeah, I
but
think,
it was-
it was in that period of time where everybody...
Well, we were talking about
Everybody
that,
had to
I
do-
think, a couple of weeks ago, where, in the 80s, these prog bands had to adapt
Or, yeah.
Right.
or disappear
Yeah.
forever.
Not everybody made, Rick Wakeman money.
True. Well, guys, I think we've run over our course.
We have.
We have.
A guy looking for the pretty things for 3 minutes is.
There you go. No, that's good.
gonna help
Pretty
your
things, man.
ratings.
That's good. First time we talked about them.
Well,
They're not
pro-
prog, but
I don't know. I think,
but
that
that
like I
record
said,
you
SF
mentioned,
Star and Parachute, both those albums are just
SF Star is one of the
Boom.
greatest records
love
I've
it.
ever heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another die cut, by the way.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought 2 of those and I sold
And
one.
then they recreated it. Was it in the '90s with David Gilmour on guitar?
You know what's
They
great?
toured.
There's a couple other records, and I spoke to someone from a record label back then. It might have been someone at Pecan. But that exact die cut was used for other records.
Really?
And they just had
Huh.
extras. That's
Huh.
what it was. It's like, if I was in that band, like, why does the record look like that? Well, listen.
we use your contract.
Isn't
You got
it
no
cool?
say in this stuff.
No, it's really cool. It's really
Yeah,
cool that you
don't
got
worry
that.
about it. It's like it's in Boston. It's not a college town.
Thanks for that.
All right.
Headway.
Beer.
Thanks, guys. It was a pleasure.
yeah, well-
Thanks for
Dave,
joining us.
Pleasure.
Prague will find a way even to the Zambonis hockey band.
Of course, if you wanted to.
I'm sure there's a Mellotron app. Every band can.
Oh
have
yeah, there's a Mellotron app.
Yeah.
There is a Mellotron app.
Listen, guys, invite me back in 3 months.
We totally will.
We'll do an XTC episode.
We'll talk about
with
the
you.
exact same stuff.
But we'll remember.
No, we'll run this episode. We'll just comment. We'll do a running commentary on this episode.
I'm proud of this episode. Very proud of this
Thank you.
episode.
Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks everybody. Don't forget to subscribe and
And
like.
like.
Yeah.
All right.
Like it.